Welcome back to another episode of the Recap Show where we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. In this case, we're going to talk about Bluebeam's Unbound conference that happened the last week of September. So, in under 1 minute, I want to go over the bad and the ugly. Really, not that many bad things. I just want to go over a couple of things that maybe they could use as constructive criticism to do better next year wherever they host their next conference. So, the first thing that I want to go over is the hotel where they hosted the conference. So, I think the hotel was a little bit small, and it also felt like we were in the basement of a basement. I think what I heard is that they probably had about the same amount of attendees that they normally have each year, but being that the hotel was pretty small, and then it was in the basement of a basement, it felt like there weren't that many people there. So that's just kind of like the first constructive criticism. I wasn't a big fan of the venue. The second one was the distance from the hotel where we were staying at, where they held the conference, to the museum where they hosted the after party. It was just way too long. I think we were in that bus for, at least with traffic, felt like 45 minutes to an hour. And then once we got there, then we kind of ate dinner. And then honestly, by the time we were done eating dinner, I walked around a little bit and then I was ready to head back because I knew it was going to be a long drive back to the hotel. All right, so now we got those two things out of the way. I want to get into some of the things that I'm looking forward to at the beginning of 2026. I think this is when a lot of these things are starting to come out, and then Bluebeam is going to start pushing all these new releases out. I don't think they're all going to come out at once, but I think they're going to start rolling them out kind of month by month or quarter by quarter starting in 2026. So the first one, which was the big reveal at the keynote, was Bluebeam Max. Now, I believe after they acquired Firmus, which I want to say was an AI platform. Now, don't quote me on that. I believe that's what it was. That's when they started working on, I want to call it Bluebeam 3.0. All right, the second thing that I want to talk about that was released during the keynote was a couple of releases and or integrations within Bluebeam. So the first one is Go Canvas, the TaskLink tool. So this is a new feature that allows users to dispatch and track field tasks directly from Bluebeam Review by linking with Go Canvas. So I'm personally not too familiar with this integration, the Go Canvas TaskLink tool, but I do want to say that this integration is live. So if you're interested in checking this guy out, go do some research, go AI it, and I'm sure you'll be able to find some information on that. Another key product innovation that was announced in Unbound's conference in 2025 was the DocuSign integration in Studio. So as we all know, once we go to sign a document, you always have to create that signature within Bluebeam. So in native in Bluebeam, then you have to save it to your desktop, meaning you have to save and create a password of your signature and save it to your desktop. Then you'll be able to digitally sign a document. So now there's no need to drag that PDF, drop it in DocuSign, sign it, then download a copy and save it on your computer, wherever, on your desktop, wherever you're saving all your documents. So if you go to Bluebeam Studio, that integration will be available there. So whatever documents that you need to sign, you can do that in there. All right, the next one that I want to briefly go over is the integration between Bluebeam and Procore. So this provides a seamless connection between Bluebeam's powerful markup and collaboration tools and Procore's comprehensive project management platform. I'm not a Procore user, so I'm not too familiar with how it works, but that is one thing that I want to mention. Those both Procore and Bluebeam integrated, and then I'm assuming that you're able to do all your markups in Bluebeam and also link it back to Procore somehow. The next one is going to be the Magic Wand. So this one is going to be launching with Bluebeam Max in 2026. So essentially the functionality of the Magic Wand is to skip the redraw. So in other words, you can do convert to. So this instantly converts an existing drawing element into a measurement markup. So for example, you can convert a selected pipe run into a length measurement. You can also do duplicate as. So you can quickly duplicate markups and automatically paste the copies along a path or in a sequence. And then the offset tool is actually a pretty good idea. It comes in many of the softwares that I use besides Bluebeam. So I think this is a good idea. They included this in the new release because the offset tool is something that a lot of people are going to find a lot of benefit out of. All right, and a couple of markup updates that I was writing down as the keynote was going on. I think they have a decent amount, but some of these, maybe this might be like a little shortcut, but shifts, if you do shift plus the space bar, you can recycle through markups that are on top of each other. You can also add a cloud around the markup automatically. So I think this is a new feature that is coming out with Bluebeam Max in 2026. And also you can add a square and add text inside of that square afterwards. Again, another release that's coming up next year. And the last one that I have written down here is the toolchest link in separate machines as long as you are logged in with your username. So if you have your latest version of Bluebeam, if you see up top on the right, you will see your email. So this is your username. So as long as you're logged in with that same username on multiple machines, you're going to be able to use your toolchest link. And the last thing I want to briefly talk about is Bluebeam's AI, which is called Cloud. So a couple of examples are, the first one is you can ask it to capitalize all markups. So if you had a text box and then you typed everything up, and then for some reason you want to grab everything and capitalize all the markups in that text box, you can just ask it and then it'll automatically do it. Also, you can say change text to a different language. So if you're, for example, we wrote everything in English and I want to translate it to Spanish. So for example, my guys in the field, a lot of them speak Spanish. If I want to translate all that to Spanish, you can ask Claude to do it and it's going to automatically do it for you. You can ask it to summarize spec sections, review contracts, and add page labels to your drawings. So if you have a PDF that has a bunch of sheets, a bunch of drawings, and then you want to say, hey, please automatically add all the page labels to the set of contract documents, go ahead and do that. So it'll automatically do all that for you. There's no need to go to I want to say is document page labels and then create a page label. So typically what I do is I do that and then I say create page labels off of that, and then I draw a box at the bottom right wherever the page label for that contract document is. There's not going to be any need for that. You're just going to ask Claude to do it and it is going to automatically do that for you. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's going to save you some time on your day-to-day workflows. Also, you're going to be able to ask Claude to review 2 PDFs and identify any changes by creating markups automatically. Now, I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work, but I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty interesting. And the last one that I want to say is, which I think eventually this is probably the beginning of automatic takeoffs, is I guess what I want to call it. But they demonstrated just a super easy example. They had a drawing up there and then they asked it to count all the light fixtures on that PDF. So I thought actually that was pretty cool. That's something that I've been trying to do on my own. I actually just kind of gave it a try using just basic ChatGPT. I uploaded a contract document and I asked it to count, I think, all the pumps that I had on that drawing, and it didn't do the best job. So I'm actually glad that Bluebeam is going that route. So actually looking forward to the future of automatic takeoff so we can actually focus on building job sites. All right, I think this is all I have for you guys. I think I went through all the different things going down here through my notes that I took down during the keynote. I think these were some pretty good features that are coming out. Some of them are already out and the others are coming out with Bluebeam Max in 2026. So start doing some research on them, start playing with them to make your job more efficient on a day-to-day basis. And again, I'm going to leave this video here for now. Thanks for watching and I will see you guys on the next one.